What if I told you the moment she walked out wasn't the moment you lost? It was the moment you were handed the blueprint to rebuild yourself into something she'll never understand, never reach, and never deserve again. Right now, you're probably staring at the ceiling at 3 a.m., eyes wide open, no messages, no calls, just silence, the kind that eats you alive. You're trying to figure out where it went wrong, replaying the last conversation, the coldness in her voice, the way she said she needs time or found herself, or worse, someone else. And it hurts. Of course it does. You gave her access to your soul. She walked in, touched everything, and left the room in ruins. That kind of betrayal carves itself into your bones. But this right here, is the moment that separates men who collapse from men who conquer. She thinks you'll spiral, that you'll blow up her phone, that you'll beg, apologize for things you didn't even do, that you'll start posting for attention, talking to mutual friends, trying to prove something. She thinks you'll crack under the weight of rejection. She expects weakness. But let me ask you something. Why not be what she never saw coming? Why not go dark, not as a game, but as a statement? Why not let her feel what it's like to lose access to your presence, your energy, your consistency? That's the currency she took for granted. Now you cut the supply, not out of spite, but because you finally realize your power was never in her hands. It was always in your control. You just forgot. You see, the Stoics didn't teach men to suppress pain. They taught us to transform it. Marcus Aurelius, Epictetus, Seneca, they didn't run from heartbreak. They stared it in the face and said, "Good. Another test, another fire to walk through," because pain is the raw material of power, and heartbreak, it's a forge. Most men run. But you're going to let it shape you. You're not here to win her back. You're here to never need her again. That version of you, the one who would have dropped everything for her, sacrificed sleep, dreams, purpose, that man is gone. You're not chasing closure. You're building discipline, detachment, emotional control. You're rewiring yourself so deeply that when she finally checks your profile, when she finally calls just to check in, she won't recognize the man you've become. And that's the point. She doesn't regret losing you yet, because she hasn't seen what you become after you lose her. Welcome to Stoic Blessing. This is the path of the unbreakable, the silent, the focused, the man who walks through fire and comes out colder, calmer, and more powerful than ever before. This isn't heartbreak. This is rebirth. You're not a victim of what happened. You're the architect of what comes next. If you're done playing the fool, if you're ready to burn the old version of yourself and rise from the ashes, hit that like button. Subscribe, turn on notifications, and comment below. I rise from the fire. Number 1, pain is your beginning. Pain isn't the enemy. Pain is the door, and right now, you're standing in front of it. She slammed it shut behind her, but what she didn't realize is, pain is where real men are born. The moment she left, everything inside you cracked, and that's good. That's necessary, because the only way to rebuild is to break. The Stoics didn't shy away from suffering. They leaned into it. They saw it as the raw material of growth. Fire doesn't destroy steel, it hardens it. And right now, that heartbreak you're carrying, that's the fire. Don't waste your suffering. Let it become the reason you level up. Let it be the spark that wakes you up at 5 a.m., the reason you train harder, focus deeper, cut out the noise, and rebuild a life that doesn't revolve around anyone's validation. Because here's what dark psychology knows that most men don't. When you transform pain into power, people feel it. They see it in your silence. They notice it in your absence. They hear it in your voice, even when you say nothing. She thought the pain would ruin you, but it's about to become your foundation. This is where your new identity begins, not in comfort, not in revenge, but in pure, calculated self-discipline. You're not who you were. You're who you decide to become, because of what she did, not in spite of it. Let the pain teach you. Let it fuel you. Let it kill the old version of you, and never resurrect him again. If you're done letting heartbreak define you, if you're ready to use the pain to rise, hit that like button. Subscribe, turn on notifications, and comment below. I build myself from the fire. Number 2, she expected you to chase. She expected the text, the I miss you, the apology for things you didn't even do. She thought you'd collapse under the silence and go crawling back. Because that's what she's seen before, from other men. That's the cycle. Breakup, regret, chase, and maybe she gives you a little breadcrumb of hope. But you're not built for breadcrumbs anymore. You're building a feast for yourself. The moment you don't chase is the moment she starts questioning everything. Why hasn't he reached out? Is he over it? Is he seeing someone else? That silence isn't passive, it's pressure. It flips the dynamic. You were the one feeling powerless. Now she's the one spiraling in uncertainty. That's the power of detachment. That's what the Stoics mastered, being unmoved. They taught that desire is the root of suffering, and when you let go of the need for someone to come back, you stop suffering. Dark Psychology 101. Unpredictability triggers attraction. Predictable men chase. Strong men disappear. You become the mystery, the ghost in the back of her mind. And when she finally checks to see what you're doing, she won't find desperation. She'll find discipline. She'll see a man unbothered, focused, elevated. And the worst part for her, she'll realize your life actually got better without her. You don't chase what walks away. You become the man they regret walking away from. Not by playing games, but by refusing to play the one she expected. That's not cruelty, that's control, and in control, you find peace. If you're done chasing what broke you, if you're ready to become what they can't ignore, hit that like button. Subscribe, turn on notifications, and comment below. My silence is power. Number 3, emotional control is the ultimate flex. She wanted a reaction. That's the part you don't see right away. She didn't just want to leave. You were supposed to break, blow up her phone, get angry, cry, lose your mind. That would have made her feel powerful, because the more control she had over your emotions, the more important she felt. But when you didn't react, when you kept your cool, went silent, focused inward, that's when things shifted. That's when the power snapped back to your side. Stoicism is the art of owning yourself. Every emotion you let run wild, that's a piece of yourself you're giving away. But when you master your response, when you sit with the chaos and say nothing, you become dangerous in a way most people can't understand. Not because you're cold, but because you've trained yourself to stay composed. Seneca said, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality." That means most of your pain. It comes from your reaction to the story, not the event itself. Dark psychology knows this too. Emotional control is dominance, not over others, but over yourself. When you stop reacting, you become unpredictable. And unpredictability breeds power. She can't read you anymore. She doesn't know if you're hurting or if you're over it. That uncertainty, that's the grip tightening around her mind. That's when regret creeps in. You're not out here trying to show her how you feel. You're showing her she no longer gets access to how you feel. That's the flex. That's the new standard. Emotional control isn't weakness. It's the highest form of strength. If you're done handing people your peace, if you're ready to own every reaction, hit that like button. Subscribe, turn on notifications, and comment below. I control what controls me. Number 4. Disappear to become desired. There's something powerful about a man who just vanishes. No drama, no goodbye text, no let's stay friends, just silence. You don't post, you don't check in, you stop orbiting around her life. And suddenly, she feels it. The absence, the void where your energy used to be. Because when you disappear, you remove her access to the thing she never thought she'd lose, your presence. Most men stay too close. They linger, they hope. They think staying in her life keeps the door open. Nope. It keeps you from healing, and it keeps her in control. The Stoics understood this well. Epictetus said, "If someone succeeds in provoking you, realize that your mind is complicit in the provocation. Your presence is a form of communication. And when you pull it back, you speak volumes without saying a word." Here's the dark truth. People often want what they can't reach. Scarcity creates value. And when she realizes you're actually gone, not just pretending, her mind starts to spiral. She'll check your stories, scroll through old messages. She might even reach out. But this isn't about playing hard to get. It's about becoming so focused on your own growth, she can't even find a version of you to latch onto. You disappear to rebuild, not to punish her, but to protect you. Your peace, your focus, your future. Let her wonder, let her imagine, let the silence do what words never could. If you're done being easy to reach, if you're ready to become the mystery she can't ignore, hit that like button, subscribe, turn on notifications, and comment below. My absence is power. Number 5. Silence is a weapon. Silence isn't emptiness, it's precision. And when used right, it cuts deeper than any insult ever could. Most people can't handle silence. They fill it with noise, with drama, with begging for attention. But not you. Your silence is intentional, calculated, deadly, because silence forces reflection. And when she's left alone with nothing but her thoughts, that's when your power starts to echo. You're not ignoring her, you're letting the silence speak for you. Every day you don't react, every hour you don't reach out, you're reminding her that your peace isn't up for negotiation anymore, that you no longer explain yourself, that her access was a privilege, not a right, and she gave it up. The Stoics practiced the art of restraint. They knew when to speak, but more importantly, they knew when not to. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury." You don't need to lash out. You don't need to argue. That's what she expects. Silence confuses. It haunts. It creates a space where she has to sit with the consequences of losing you. And here's the twist. Silence doesn't just make her think about you. It forces you to reconnect with yourself, to hear your own thoughts again, to rediscover your purpose without her in the equation. That's why silence is so lethal. It heals you, and it haunts her. If you're done talking to people who stopped listening, if you're ready to let silence speak your truth, hit that like button, subscribe, turn on notifications, and comment below. My silence is sacred. Number 6. The scar becomes armor. She left a scar, no doubt about it. You feel it every time a memory hits, every time a song plays, every time your mind drifts back to what used to be. But that scar, it's not a weakness, it's not a wound anymore. It's armor. It's a reminder that you survived something meant to break you. And instead of falling apart, you adapted, you evolved, you learned. The Stoics didn't hide from pain, they embraced it. Seneca said, "Difficulties strengthen the mind, as labor does the body." That scar she gave you? It's proof that you felt deeply, lost heavily, and still stood up anyway. Most men get stuck in the pain. You're using it as fuel, that's the difference. You're not bitter, you're better, sharper, colder, clearer. Here's what most people don't get. Trauma doesn't destroy you. It reveals you. It exposes your weaknesses so you can fix them. It forces you to level up. When you stop trying to cover the scar and start owning it, everything changes. You walk different. You speak different. You don't chase because you know exactly what you've already survived. That kind of confidence, unshakable. And when she sees you again, if she ever does, she won't see the man she left. She'll see a man who used the pain she caused as the reason he became untouchable. That scar won't make her feel proud. It'll make her feel stupid, forever thinking she could break you permanently. If you're done hiding the pain, if you're ready to turn your scars into strength, hit that like button. Subscribe, turn on notifications, and comment below. My scar is my strength. Number 7. Become the observer, not the victim. There's a moment in every man's journey where he has to decide, am I going to be the victim of this story or the observer of it? Most never make that choice consciously. They stay stuck, blaming, overanalyzing, letting their emotions drag them through hell on repeat. But not you. You're waking up. You're stepping outside the chaos. You're learning to observe, not absorb. She hurt you. Facts. But now it's on you. Because the pain already happened, you're suffering. That's optional. That's what the Stoics understood. Epictetus said, "We cannot choose our external circumstances, but we can always choose how we respond to them. So stop reliving what she did. Start watching how you respond. That's where the power is. That's where transformation happens. You start noticing patterns, how she played on your emotions, how you ignored the red flags, how you made excuses because of what you felt. But now you observe it all with detachment. No anger, no hate, just clarity. And clarity makes you lethal. Because once you stop reacting, she loses all control over your energy. You stop being her puppet. You become your own force. Dark psychology teaches this too. The moment you stop feeding emotion into a situation, you take the upper hand. You become the observer, quiet, calculated, unbothered. That's where she starts to feel it. The shift, the distance, the realization that you're no longer emotionally available because you've become logically untouchable. If you're done being a victim of your story, if you're ready to watch without reacting, hit that like button. Subscribe, turn on notifications, and comment below. I observe. I don't absorb. Number 8. Detachment attracts obsession. Here's the paradox no one teaches you. The moment you no longer need her is the moment she starts to need you. It's not magic, it's psychology. When you detach, truly detach, you stop sending signals of weakness. You stop radiating lack. You stop giving off the energy of a man who's waiting, hoping, suffering, and instead, you become a man on a mission, unavailable, focused, free. And that shift, she feels it, even if she doesn't talk to you, even if you blocked her, even if months pass, she feels it. Because women are wired to detect emotional attention, and when that signal disappears, it triggers something primal. She starts to wonder, to doubt, to question everything. Why hasn't he checked in? Has he moved on? Did he upgrade? Was I wrong? Detachment turns you into a question mark, and nothing drives obsession like unanswered questions. The Stoics weren't about emotional numbness. They were about emotional control. Detachment doesn't mean you don't care. It means you've separated your identity from the outcome. She can't give you worth. She can't take it either. You're centered, grounded, focused on the internal, not the external. And that energy? That's magnetic. Because most people cling. You've become rare. And in rarity, you gain value. Not because you're playing games, but because you're actually done. You've moved your attention, your care, your power inward. If you're done chasing and ready to become the one they chase, hit that like button. Subscribe, turn on notifications, and comment below. Detachment is my superpower. Number 9. She will regret losing you. She doesn't regret it right away. That's what stings at first. She walks away calm, unbothered, like it was nothing. That smile, that silence, it cuts deep. But what she doesn't realize is that the man she left behind is not the man you're becoming. And regret doesn't hit when you're broken. It hits when you're better. And you will be. You see, regret is delayed pain. It creeps in slowly when the next guy doesn't measure up, when your name comes up and she feels a knot in her chest, when she sees your glow up, your discipline, your peace, and realizes she had you before the transformation, but she let you go, thought you'd crumble, thought you'd chase. Nope, you vanished, evolved, built a version of yourself that no longer even wants her back. The Stoics didn't live for revenge, they lived for elevation. Marcus Aurelius didn't obsess over enemies, he obsessed over excellence. And that's the key. You're not doing this to prove anything. You're doing this because you owe it to yourself to become the man she couldn't see, the man who doesn't beg, doesn't fold, doesn't flinch. And when she finally realizes what she lost, that's not your moment to gloat. That's your confirmation. You made it. Not because she regrets it, but because you don't. You didn't just survive her, you outgrew her. If you're done hoping she'll change her mind, if you're ready to become the man she'll never forget, hit that like button. Subscribe, turn on notifications, and comment below. I am her biggest regret. Number 10. You're not broken, you're reborn. This isn't the end of you, it's the beginning of a completely different version of you, sharper, calmer, more dangerous. When she left, it felt like your world collapsed. But now you realize it wasn't destruction, it was demolition. And there's a big difference. Demolition clears the ground so you can rebuild, so you can rise. And what's rising right now is a man forged in silence, focused through pain, and reborn through discipline. You're not the heartbroken guy anymore. That version of you, emotional, reactive, seeking validation, he's gone, burned away. What's left is someone who doesn't flinch when things fall apart, someone who doesn't beg for love, someone who doesn't need closure because his peace comes from within. That's what Stoicism creates, a man who doesn't just survive the storm, he is the storm. Marcus Aurelius said, "What stands in the way becomes the way." And this heartbreak, it became the path. It forced you to wake up, to train harder, to read more, to speak less, to build habits she never inspired, because this time you're not doing it for someone else. You're doing it for you. You didn't break, you shed your skin, you evolved. And now, when people see you, they'll sense it. The energy, the presence, the strength, and she'll recognize none of it, because the man she left behind doesn't exist anymore. If you're done living in the past, if you're ready to walk forward fully reborn, hit that like button. Subscribe, turn on notifications, and comment below. I am not broken. I am reborn. This is Stoic Blessing, and this is just the beginning.